Hi, everybody. Country Chats podcast back here again for another episode. Thank you for tuning in. I am very excited for today's show because I have a fellow Mayo person here in front of me, the first Mayo person on the podcast. I'm delighted to have David Connor here in front of me, even though he's only 20 minutes down the road from me. We are doing things properly and we are on Zoom. David, how's things?
Great now with yourself. It's a small world.
It is. It's a small world. As we were saying earlier, I already know your sister Jenny. We were in college for 4 years together, and you talk exactly like her. So it's like talking to a male version of Jenny.
A good South Mayo accent.
That's it. Hopefully, we won't get too caught up in our bogger accents, and everyone will be able to understand us.
Boggers and proud. Really.
That's it. So, David, how are things? You've been quite busy recently, all right, and thanks to Glór Tíre, but how are things other than that?
Grand, just working away all the time and just doing a lot of this sort of Zoom meetings, a lot of phone calls to friends and things like that. And look, I know it's unusual times, but you have to get used to what you have, and we still communicate, and that's what keeps us going. Watching a lot of films, watching a lot of sport, things like that. So
a lot of Netflix.
A lot of Netflix, yeah. It's just sort of, it's unusual, but it is what it is. And sure, we're making the best of it. And when things come good, sure, we'll be all out again.
Absolutely, that's it. So I suppose first thing kind of that we need to discuss is Glór Tíre. It's been a kind of a rocky road at the moment. Now, not a rocky road in that you're still in the competition. Yeah. Things are going well for you. But unfortunately, it was called off there a few weeks ago due to COVID and for the safety of everyone. So a spanner has been thrown into the works. So how are we feeling? How are things going at this stage now for you?
Well, initially, like it was a bit of a surprise, but then again, you quickly think to yourself, well, is it a surprise? Because it's just, unfortunately, it's the world we're living in now. So this can happen. This can awful easily happen. And look, you just say to yourself, right, it's a little step back, but in terms of the bigger picture, look, it's not the end of the world. It will come back again, and we'll build up the campaign again. And hopefully, as we say, if people like what they hear, they might keep voting for me and keep me in another week, because it is only week to week. You just do your best on the night, hope for the best of people like you, and take from there. So look, it's going to be back very soon. This is what I'm hearing, but behind the scenes, but we haven't been given a definite date, and it would be, I wouldn't speculate on much more on that, but just looking forward to getting back. It's been a great experience so far, and yeah, I've really enjoyed it.
No, it's been brilliant, and it's for the fans as well, and the country music fans. It's great to be able to tune in every week and have that connection to the country music. And how many shows have you done already?
We have, geez, you put me on the spot there now. I think we did an introductory show, and then we did I think it's four shows we've done so far now, and then there will be two left if you got to a final or whatever.
Okay, so is the semi-finals next, is it, or the quarters?
Semi-finals are next now, so this is the big one now. So probably the last performance I have, not to skip ahead to maybe a question you were going to ask, but I got on fairly well. I was happy enough with my performance, and got a fairly good reaction. So there was a bit of momentum, and unfortunately this happened, but it is what it is. It's fine. Hopefully we'll move on. So it's time to focus ahead to the semi-final, where there will be, I don't think I'm giving anything away. Anybody who watched the show, there will be an Irish song as well. So that's going to be a challenge for me.
So you have extra time to be practicing your Gaeilge, so you're going around the house speaking it and talking and singing and.
That's it. I wouldn't be now. I don't mean to insult anybody who speaks Irish, but I don't really understand an awful lot. But I try my best. I'm picking up bits and pieces along the way. But as regards to learning the song, usually when I learn a song, I try to learn the story, and if you forget, you'd figure out the story again. But with Irish, it's a little bit different, because obviously the sounds, the grammar, things like that are different. But it was a challenge, but it's enjoyable, because it's good to be able to have a go at the language too, because it's such a lovely language, so it's interesting.
Absolutely, and it's something that you wouldn't normally be doing. It's a bit out of the comfort zone, but for everyone, I suppose, it's out of the comfort zone. But it's a nice little touch as well to the show. And of course, Michael English is your mentor, so things are going well there.
Oh yeah, geez, Michael, really sound professional fella, really good. It's very calm, and sort of just calms you down and just tells you, look, it's your show, you do it your way, but he just encourages you what he thinks you should do or shouldn't do. You pick the songs, but he just says what he just gives you a friendly word of advice, and he's very encouraging. You can always ring him and things like that. He's very good, excellent, and lovely guy. got friendly with him now and the whole lot, and I can see why he's been so successful throughout his career, because you know what I mean, he is an outright musician, very talented, great guy.
That's what you want. That sounds absolutely brilliant. You couldn't get better than that, really, could you?
No.
So yeah, Michael is your mentor. And what is it like singing with no audience in front of you?
Well, yeah, it's very different, like, because I suppose one of the distractions that would be from the cameras would be an audience, but seeing that there's no audience there and there's just a crew in front of you, you're focusing more on cameras, or. But you know, and I suppose a few people have pointed out to me, you're looking a bit nervous there and things like that, and you might say, well, gee, you know, it's not as easy as it looks when there's no people there to sort of settle you. Because if you see a familiar face, you start saying, "We sound now, be grand," but there's not. But look at everybody's in the same boat, so it isn't really an excuse either. So you just get used to it, and I've got more relaxed, and I've got a bit better at it. I think, I hope, I don't know, we'll see, and. But it's good. It's great to see how it works, like, and even I wouldn't be doing this with you if I hadn't maybe been on Glór Tíre as well. So it opens another door as well. So that's great, and thank you very much. But it's interesting to see behind the scenes, the crew, the judges, just to see how it all works and how all the cogs click into place. And I'm really enjoying it. So it's good.
Good, and it's been, of course, with it being called off for the moment, you're kind of getting more time out of it. Like you're getting a few, you know, you'd normally have maybe the guts of what, maybe 6 weeks out of it, or 2 months, whereas now you're getting more time out, which is great as well. So we have the semi-final and the final to look forward to. So yeah, I can't wait for that. And as I said to you when we came on the chat, I'm sick of seeing your face everywhere across Mayo. No, not sick of it. It's great to see it, and you've great support literally every part of Mayo now, because I'm traveling a good bit with work myself. So I'm between Mayo and Sligo and Roscommon, and I tell you, you're in Sligo and Roscommon as well as Mayo.
I know, don't worry. Yeah, but look, you know, it's in a funny way, it's like nearly an election, a sort of a campaign to it, like, you know, to try and get your votes, because you have to make the effort. Because if you want to get votes, or you want to look at it sounds sort of bad to get votes, but the way I would do it is, look, we have to try and encourage people to vote. Each contestant does. But basically what you say is, if you like what you hear, will you please give me a vote? And that's what you say. And I'm the only Mayo contestant and that type of thing. And I think it's been, you know, the standards from the other, you know, the whole standards thing has been great this year. The judges have commented on that, and it's because I would have watched it over the years, and I've always thought the standard was good. But I suppose it's not until you're in the melting pot to shelf you realize, you know, that they're good. They're really good, and it's competition. But as you said, you've seen me everywhere, because we're all doing our best to get a few votes, and hope people like us and things, you know.
And you're limited this year, because I suppose in previous years you'd be attending events, you'd be probably having your own night to try and generate some publicity, whereas now you're limited basically to Facebook, social media, and having your posters out and about. So you just have to push it, and you know, everyone, as you said, everyone's in the same boat. You're all doing the same thing. So
that's it. Yeah. But it probably would be the biggest disadvantage, that other years you would have been able to, you know, sing a couple of songs with your mentor at their dances, and put your flyers around, and, you know, got to meet people, like, whereas now you can't meet people. So you have to try and, I won't say push it, but try and think of ways to get your message across and get them tuned in, and, you know.
Yeah, think outside the box.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So that's Glór Tíre. So we've that, so we can look forward to that coming back up and running. Now, you were busy last year as well, though, pre-Glór Tíre, because you brought a song out during the summer, which I absolutely love. It's been in my head all day, because I watched it this morning, just when I was getting ready for this evening's interview, and I watched it this morning. It has done so well, and it's so lively. You couldn't have come at a better time. I'd say a great crack video on that.
Oh, a great crack video on that. It was Dave Cooley and his gang that videoed it, and basically I had sang it before at a concert, before Finbar Fury in the Town Hall Marsh there. It was a song that I'd known. I go up and I just I had a guest spot to do a couple of songs, and I just felt from listening to it at sessions that if we could do it, was a very stripped back version now, I have to say. It was only, you know, a concertina and a guitar, the original version we did, but we've obviously changed it around. I just said I wanted to turn it into a slosh dance and make it a bit faster, make it lively, and then when you did a visual of a video, Ginny and her friends were in it as well, and it was a fusion between slosh and a little bit Irish dance as well. So it was good, and we got a great day for it. It was the 20th of July that was filmed, and it was around Claremorris and Crosby, my parish, and there's a glamp site there behind the pub, and it just worked out very well. You know what I mean? So the idea was you couldn't have come at a better time, because at the time, of course, our lockdown had sort of finished, and we were all positive that it was going to be, we were going to take off and our summer's going to start. So that was the idea sort of behind releasing that particular time. But look, I think it gave people a bit of a lift anyways, and that's what I'd like to think. So.
Oh, it did. And I tell you, it gave me a lift today, listen to it now. And I was wondering when I was watching, I was like, where is that filmed? I couldn't figure it out. And then I saw the glamping site, and I know that there is a site in Mayo. So I thought maybe that's it. And of course, all the girls were in my year as well in college with Jenny. So I knew all them as well. So it's a great video. It was very well done. And I suppose it gave you something to be working on as well during the summer.
That's it. It was something to aim for. Like, I had this in the back of my head, and I was like, gee, we have to do this, and we're going to do it this week, next week, the week after. But I basically just got in contact with Dave Cooley from Galway. There's a photographer, and he does music videos and stuff. And I just said, Dave, we need to rock with this now. We need to do it before the summer's out. I have to release this off. So we just picked this, and pure luck that it was a good day. Pure luck. And it just worked out, and it was great. One take, one day, straight through. Got everybody together, the band and the whole lot, and we had a great time now. We had a great old time, so enjoyed it.
Top done. No, it's absolutely brilliant. So make sure, guys, you go and check that one out. You couldn't have come at a better time, and it's a nice lively one. It'll definitely perk you up. Bit of trad, bit of country in it. It's a nice mix, as you said, David. And another song that I came across that I had forgotten about when I was looking up that one was the Mayo Cup song, which as of today has 118,000 views on like it's absolutely nuts. So tell us about that. Yourself and Jenny collaborated. It'll be 5 years ago now.
Yeah, it was 2016 Cups All Ireland. It was actually Jenny that had a bit of an idea, doing something with dancing, you know what I mean? And the Cup song, it was just, I can't think of it's an American, but obviously
perfect.
It's American.
It's out of Pitch Perfect, the movie.
Yeah, and obviously the red American Cups, we call them, and the percussion sound of them, and that beat, that rhythm. And Ginny came up with an idea of dancing to that beat, and then I changed around the verses. Just now 2 verses, nothing too mad or anything, but it just worked. And Niamh Morley, she's from Claremorris here, down the Kelchmore Road. She produced the video as well, and she gathered so much great footage from around Mayo and things like that, and put it together. And she spent painstaking time at it, and she's brilliant, Niamh Morley. And it was for cystic fibrosis, and we raised some money for them. And it was that was our first sort of taste of a bit of recording and a video and things like that. So it was good. It was 5 years ago now. I don't know where the time is now.
I know. You get mixed up with what year what was, because we're in Crow Park that often we'd forget.
This is it. Exactly, you know what I mean.
So we were in an All Ireland that year for definite. No, I mean, so many views, absolutely brilliant. And I think the thing about the Mayo videos now, myself and my sister have also done dancing videos for Mayo. And the good thing about them is they come up every year. You can keep throwing them out there every year when we get to an All Ireland.
Exactly. And at that particular time, we got to a few, you know what I mean, in a couple of years. So that's why I suppose it got the views, because every time they got to it, it was up again. And particularly when it was against Dublin, because it was a Dublin images that was in the video, so that was great.
We'll get there. Please God, we will get there soon enough.
Someday, yeah.
So you've been kind of, obviously that's 5 years ago, so it's safe to say you've been singing a good while. How did it start, or how did you get into it?
Well, I suppose if I go, just to give you a quick run through, just when I was in school, usually there was a musical in Coleman's and the Convent of Mercy there, because there's 2 separate all boys, all girls schools, and it used to be a musical. But for a few years, when I was 50 or leaving, so there wasn't. And Peter Gannon, he's a parish priest there in Claremorris. He came around 2004, 2005 to Claremorris, and he had produced a youth variety show in Tuam before he came, and he decided to produce one in Claremorris. So I think it was 2005, and through music then, and through rehearsing things that we got friendly, and that was my first time on stage, and I was at the town hall. And it was a youth riot show. There was dancing, there was singing, there was acting, there was comedy, there was everything. You know what I mean? So that was my first taste of the stage, because, as I said, we didn't do the musical because it wasn't on at that particular time. So he felt that, maybe, everyone deserves a bit of a chance at this in the other years who got to go. So that's where it started. 2005, 2006, I was whatever, 17, 18. So that was my first taste of it. And then I formed a little band of my own there. I was in college in Limerick, and we did pub gigs. We've been doing them since. It's about 2010. I suppose Finbar Fury in 2000, and I think it's 15 or 16. I think I played before that, and then after that, then released the first song was last February, 12 months, which is She's Walking Away. That was my first. Well, it's my second release after the Cup song, but yeah, I just approached a guy who's plays in Robin Mazel's band. His name is Wayne Throse, Ballyrose Media. He's a well-known producer. I actually, when he came off the stage, I was recommended by I think it was, I go to a lot of social dance, and I'd been asking around, I suppose, and Jason Miles recommended me to. He said he's a good guy. I don't want to be name checking people. He just said, just have a go. Wayne does my stuff, and he said ask him. So I approached him as he coming off stage. Said, look, I want to do this song. Can we do it? And I said, yeah, no problem. Next week. And that was December time. And then by February it was out, and I had done. How the story is going to come together is that 2005, 2006 youth variety show in Clamars. They did a night in Clamars again in 2020, where it was Bringing Back the Stars from then. I'm trying to explain this bad now, but that's what it was. It was a repeat show again, bringing back the people from old, younger ones and our older ones. It was Bring Back the Stars or something like that was the name of the show. And I sang the song, I debuted the song in the town hall that night. So it was very appropriate. It was the first place I had sang, and it was the first song then after recording it that I sang again. And that's where it started. And that was just over a year ago now. And then I've released 2 since. So that's where I'm at now. And then now
very good. That's a lovely story, actually, how they brought you back to like. Yeah. So I'd say there was great crack that night. So.
Oh, great. Brilliant. Class.
So going by what you've just said, it's been, I suppose, it's been a long music career in one sense, but I suppose you've only started releasing music, and COVID, I suppose, put a stop to it. You probably had a few other ideas and plans in place, but COVID stopped to it.
Well, I have another single going to be coming in the next probably few weeks to maybe 6-7 weeks, and then I'm working on an album as well. But it's just going to take a little bit of time, with everything that's going on. It's stalled. Obviously, there's nothing happening. But still, I had a plan to release more music, and Glór Tíre, the opportunity to do Glór Tíre came along last back end, and it was a pleasant surprise. Wasn't expecting it, but when I got it, I wrote it, and delighted I did, and it was a great experience. But it was also there would have been nothing else going on really, so it was brilliant to be out there, I suppose you'd say, and just making some singing and making some music, and that's it. So it's great. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, you're kept busy. So you've Glór Tíre, you've the single coming out in a few weeks, as you said, and you've an album coming out. So you're working away behind the scenes, which is great. So then when things get back to a bit more normality, you'll have a new album ready to go, and hopefully a launch night and all that.
Exactly. That would be great. So that's what you want. But one thing I would say now, it would be that I started attending a social dancing about 3 years ago now, and you meet a lot of friends along the way through that. And I suppose I used to go to Clare Galway, I used to go to Clamars actually. I was living in Galway before, that's why I went to Clare Galway and Foxford and many more, and into dances. And you get to meet loads of people, and when they get familiar with you, and they get to know you by name and so on and so forth. And it's just a pity, I suppose, with the Glór Tíre thing, as I said, that you would have known them and got to know them again by going around to dances with your mentor, things like that. But look, hopefully we'll all meet up again, and we'll all have a dance, and we'll all be singing some of the songs that they've released and things, and have a great time.
Absolutely. No, absolutely, you're dead right. And of course, look, Mayo has well, I feel, look, I'm probably biased anyway, but Mayo have so many singers, like country music singers.
Oh.
I just feel like we probably have so many. I mean, the country music scene is so big, but it's so small. Realistically, it's so small. Everyone knows everyone. But like, you look at yourself. We have Jerry Guthrie. We have the Miles brothers, Stewart, David, or you're David, Stewart. Stewart. I'm going mithered. Stewart and Jason and Trevor, and then we have Chantel Padden, of course. Like, there's so many good stock from Mayo. I don't know what's in the waters over here.
I don't. There's just a huge country music follow on here. It's just, it's big, it's massive. And between Midwest and between the McWilliam there, there's in Nashville at the West, and a place like that. It's just in us, I suppose. The country music, and it's great. So it's brilliant.
Yeah, and of course the McWilliam only on our doorstep. I tell you, you're even luckier than I am, because you're literally like right beside the McWilliams. So.
Well, you see, we're gonna appreciate everything an awful lot more when things get back to normal, whenever that may be, maybe in a year's time, maybe in 6 months' time. And I tell you, I'll be everywhere. And I don't mean just singing, I mean dancing. I'm mad to get going, you know what I mean? And it's, a bit of dancing too is great. So that's the thing about country music, is that it stems from the social dancing, like yourself and your teaching, things like that. And you get to know people there during the week. And then when it comes to Friday and Saturday night, then you're meeting them and meeting more. And sort of a big family in a way, and it's sort of one of the only social outings or aspects where a mixture of young, old, everybody, family, friends. You can all meet and you can all dance and have a great night, and it's great. So I think that's the secret to it, really.
No, it's just one. We're all just one big happy family, isn't that it?
Now he said from Mayo.
From Mayo. So now, David, I was telling you about this quick fire round that we're going to attempt.
Oh. Right. Okay.
Pressure is on. Bring down the spotlights now. Bring the lighting down like they do on the X Factor, or maybe Lord Cheer, maybe they do it there. No. So I have about 10 questions here, and it's first answer, whatever pops into your head.
One word.
And one or two words. It's quick fire. Whatever, you can develop it a little bit, but we'll go with it now, and try and control yourself. Don't talk too much.
Yeah, I'm rambling here now. Okay, yeah.
Right. Okay. So here is the quick fire round with David Connor. So David, who is your favorite American country music singer?
Glenn Campbell.
What is your favorite country song to listen to?
As She's Walking Away.
By yourself or the original?
Oh, Zach Brown, yeah.
Do you prefer to sing a jive or a waltz?
I think a jive, yeah.
Can you dance? We know you can, I think.
Well, I leave that up to other people, but I can dance. I think I can dance.
Good. Who is your favorite Irish country music singer, other than Michael English?
Other than Michael English?
Yeah.
I think Patrick Feeney is a great singer.
Yeah, his name has come up so many times on the quick fire. I'm in agreement.
He's a serious singer,
yeah. Do you prefer to perform at a concert or a dance?
I've actually only one word. Dance.
Okay. What's your favorite venue to gig in, or that you want to gig in?
McWilliam.
Good one. Who is your biggest fan?
Probably my mother.
I've met your mother, actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Bernie.
Very good. Do you play any instruments?
A little bit of guitar.
Electric, yeah. You're okay. I think I know the answer to this. What is your favorite local radio station?
No, Midwest Radio.
That's the stuff. What's your favorite song to sing?
I'd say Boston Rose.
Oh, nice. And I know you sang that on Lord Cheer a few weeks ago, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And one last question. Tell us something we don't know about you. A little secret.
A secret. Oh God, I don't know what to say here now.
You've no secrets.
Oh, sure, no. Everyone is a secret, but I'm trying to think of one. um, let me see. I don't know what to say.
I should have roped Jenny in for this question.
Yeah.
I can give one.
Okay, you think of
So
one.
I read that you were an art teacher.
I was. I was actually debating whether to say that now or not because I didn't know. But I was teaching for a few years.
So
Yeah.
you don't? Did you go to the art college down in Limerick?
Yeah.
Ah.
I
And were
was
you
there.
down there at the same time as us?
Well, I'm a bit older than you now, but I finished there in 2012.
Oh, and we only started, I think, 2011. So
Yeah.
we just overlapped.
I finished the degree in 2011 and I did a HDip then in 2012. But I had a great time down there because it's a very creative place where the arts is really nurtured and respected between music and art. And I went on into a few different schools. I was in Claremorris and St. Colman's, my old school, and in Ballynrobus where I finished up for 2 years, in Ballyhonus, and I was in Lackland Cross as well. So I was in a few places.
Actually taught in all them schools myself. Actually, not
There you
Lackland
go.
Cross, but I've been in all the other three that you mentioned. Great schools.
About
Fair
5,
play.
6.
Yeah.
So I suppose that's a secret maybe that people don't know.
There you go. And did you leave for any particular reason, or you just now you can
Just,
do whatever you want? Because I left primary school teaching to do dancing full time. So
yeah, well, at the time I sort of made a decision that I wasn't getting anything permanent or a contract wasn't looking on us, so I decided to make a bit of a change. Was I going to just get a bit of full-time work and just work on music and try and get into that area and see how you get on and have a cut at it and see if it works out. It works out, and if it doesn't, you've tried. That's the way I look at it.
and as I'd be told numerous times, you can always go back to it.
I get told that every day. Don't worry.
Oh, I'm well used to it.
Every Irish mammy is saying.
Oh, stop. I know well. I left the teacher. I have actually gone back since November because of COVID. But yeah, that was like my mum's favorite. You can always go back to it.
Yeah,
she was right because I did.
I know. But I know. Look at I subbed in a good few places for a few years, as I said, and I was delighted to get the opportunity. Now I wouldn't run it down or anything like that. I enjoyed it because it's challenging, but there's a great sense of satisfaction from it probably when, I don't know, something, an exam year, if they do well in their exam or something, there is a great sense of satisfaction and there's no point in it. But I just felt that, unfortunately, I had to sacrifice something. And in order to do that, I needed something a little bit more steady to be able to do other things I wanted to do. So
that's it. Everyone thinks that when you're a teacher, when you qualify as a teacher, it's all roses and sunshine. But the reality is, it is hard to get jobs. It can be hard to get permanent jobs, or
there's a summer too. It's just that you wouldn't be getting paid for the summer, and you were sort of looking for another job. So you sort of had to think to yourself, well, you need to get something a bit more steady here.
Absolutely. No, you have to think ahead like that. So you did survive the quick fire round. I think I put the pressure on you, did I?
You did put pressure on me. I've had this pressure in a good while now. No gigging since last February. This is as close as the pressure I got to a gig now, but
keeping you on your toes, trying to think of
yeah, that's the Mayo. That's the do to you.
No, it's funny, everyone who's done it is like they can't think when you're on the spot.
No, but it's just like actually on Lord Cheery there when Seamus has been asking me questions. I don't know what he's going to ask me, and I was thinking, and I feel a little bit like this now, thinking, gee, what am I going to say here? Like, but yeah, I suppose it's good. It brings out the best in you too, isn't it?
That's it. We got all your secrets and we got all the in-depth thing. Was there anything? I don't know. I'm looking here now. Was there anything I'd wanted to ask you more about? Well, no, you can dance. You said you'd be going to the social dances, so we know that much. And your biggest fan, yes, I met your mum one time with Jenny. I was buying a dancing dress off her, and I met your mum. The two mums met, and she was lovely. That's a few years ago now.
My father didn't know you were buying that dress now. He didn't know she bought half them, didn't I?
Oh, sure, look, the dancing world, the Irish dancing world was very expensive for us back in the day, but we got through it all right. And actually, I was looking, speaking of us girls in our dresses, you were lucky enough to be kitted out for Glór Tíre. I tell you, the outfits on Glór Tíre and the lads, never mind the women, you were lucky, you were down in Sligo getting kitted out by Eddie Murphy. How was that?
Yeah, it was in Ballyhonest I got kitted out. Eddie Murphy.
Ballyhonest, yes.
Oh, sure, it was great. Look, just approached him and just said to him, look, I need to try and look as best as I can for the cameras. And he said, no problem, we look after you. So we went for a couple of different looks now. We wouldn't be used to this sort of thing, but look, everyone else is doing it. You have to keep up with it. So
pieces and 5 pieces and
exactly, and ties and everything. And we're going a bit more casual now. So I don't know what look is next, but I know, look, it's great because it's hard to think of everything. And it's hard to, so they do give a hand out. And P.T. Duggan, we give him a shout out there. A friend of mine, he's be working there as well, and he's be helping out the rest of me. So all the lads and Eddie Murphy's, big shout out to them. Thanks very much for their support, and keep it going.
Absolutely, no, you're looking well anyway, and in all the gear. And do you just land down and they're like, right, this is what you're going to wear, or do you get to pick, or how does it work?
Well, my sister too would have a bit of an influence. Don't know, do I? And I said, well, so it's sort of a little conversation between the three, me, what the family think, and well, I make it a big thing out, I suppose, but there is a little bit of, what do you think of that? Did that work or did it not?
Yeah. I don't know, naturally enough, you want to get other people's opinions as well, and you're dead right.
But also, just to say it, well, you know it, but maybe the viewers mightn't, is that when we do bring the outfit up there, they actually have to check it against the camera and lights, because the cameras, any things that are sort of zigzagging or crossing or patterns, it doesn't pick it up great. So
that is, you're dead right. That is one thing that a lot of people listening wouldn't know. It's only if you're in if you're a performer and you're performing in front of lights, definitely, or they'd need to check that you're not wearing the same color as another contestant or your mentor. But little things like that. I know I've been caught out many's a time with a green screen and landing with something green. And well, if you wear something green on a green screen, all you'll have is floating arms and legs. So
yeah. And the only one bit of advice I was given was that I was told, don't look like you're going to an interview. You have to look like you're trying to look a bit different, or trying to dress a bit different, not look or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it's all like, wow, wouldn't have thought of that now.
Yeah, it's kind of modern, I suppose. You'd be dressing nearly more like you're going to a wedding.
Well, that's it. So it's all new to me. As I said, it's at first I thought, oh, this is what's going on here. But when you get used to it, just like it's the name of the game, it is what it is, and just everyone's doing the same thing, so you just roll with it, I suppose, and it's grand.
And come here, have you asked them yet? Are you allowed to wear a Mayo jersey on stage?
Well, I should have said that as my secret. Actually, I always have the Mayo jersey on underneath my shirt.
Do you?
No, but I will.
You got me all excited there, because that's like, for anyone who doesn't know me, I am Mayo mad, like staunch Mayo. Like, you've got Mayo and then you have Mayo mad, and you got me all excited there, and no reason.
I know. Well, no, I'm a Mayo man. Yeah,
maybe you might have to for the semi-final.
There you go.
There we go. We'll be checking to see. I'll be looking for some little hints.
Yeah, exactly. The white shirt, you see the green coming through.
Oh, you have to do that now. Oh my God, wouldn't that be so funny? Or at least get a video or a photo after for the social media of the jersey. You have to now. Yeah,
or the band wrapped around the hand, the wrist.
You have to. Or have you Mayo socks or Mayo boxers? You could.
Mayo. That's actually something, because socks are gone so big now with all these colours and all that. I actually might try the Mayo socks.
There you go. You get away with them. No one would even bat an eyelid.
I wouldn't think so. No. They're everywhere.
Yeah, I have a pair of Mayo boxers here, but I think we're getting too personal now, are we?
No.
So we'll have to keep an eye out for the Mayo jersey. Geez, anyone who's not Mayo listening in will think, I think I've mentioned Mayo every 5 minutes. But you know what? It's nearly a novelty to be talking about Mayo, because if you meet someone nearby and local from Mayo, you don't start talking about Mayo.
No.
But I feel like, because we're on an interview and a podcast, you have an excuse to talk about Mayo.
I do always hear it, from people when I was working in Galway, people there from all different counties. I was like, you always know you're from Mayo. And I says, why? Because you're always on about it. Or you're always wearing a jersey. There's always one in England, America, everywhere you go, there's always somebody wearing their jersey. Like, that's sure that's a great thing. And he says, yeah, they'd never do it as much as us, I suppose. Maybe, I don't know. But we're proud where we're from. We're proud of the country music, and sure, what's wrong with that?
Well, you couldn't have said it better yourself. We're proud of where we're from, and we're proud of the country music. I think that's a good note to leave it on, because I tell you, Jesus, we've talked about Mayo and Mayo and Mayo and a little bit of music. But David, it's been lovely to meet you. And even though we're only 20 minutes away, but meet you on the. Please God, we'll meet each other in person at some stage. Right. But if people want to check out your social medias, you're on what? Instagram.
On Instagram and Facebook, I've set with David Connor Music and Instagram as well. So check me out, and keep an eye on new songs coming out, but also keep an eye on when Glór Tíre is back, because it will be back very soon. There's no set date as such, I can't really say, but it is coming. It is coming back very soon. Mm-hmm. And again, anybody, just to point out, anybody who voted up to where the lines were shut, they are still counted and they still will be used. And it was out of their Glór Tíre's hands, not to speak for them, but it was just a COVID issue. And look at the way things are, you have to be safe with everybody's health. You know what I mean? So we accept that. It is what it is. It's the times we're living in, and it's going to be back. And hopefully you'll be there to support me in semi-final.
Absolutely. And on the plus side, you have more time to practice your Irish song.
Exactly. And by God, I need it.
We look forward to Glór Tíre, and it'll be back anyway in a few weeks. And you have a new single coming out, and you have your new album in a few months. So there's lots to look forward to from David Connor. And David, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Make sure you have a look at the songs on YouTube as well. What is it? You Couldn't Have Come at a Better Time, and the Mayo Cup song, and what was the other one you mentioned?
Yes. And Down Home is the new one as well. So, it's about 6 weeks now, 2 months.
There we go. So you've lots to look up, and there's any amount of videos as well from Glór Tíre that people can look at on your social media. So make sure you go over and give David a follow and a like and love and views and all that jazz, and votes for Glór Tíre. David, thank you so much for coming onto the podcast. I had great chats with you.
Well, thanks very much yourself. It's the first time I've done a podcast, so it's great, delighted that it's with Mayo woman that I've done the podcast with, first and foremost. And look, thanks very much. Sorry if I was rambling a bit, but sure, look.
Okay. And we were both rambling, so it's all right.
Sorry.
Guys, thanks a million for listening to another episode of the Country Chats podcast. Thank you for all your support so far and for tuning in every week. Looking forward to bringing you lots more episodes. So we'll chat to you soon. Stay safe. God bless.